What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is stage 16 of the Tour de Beer, a different beer every day of the Tour de France. Uh, a couple of things I want to kind of get into real quick. One of the things I noticed, so today was a hot day at the brewery, a two t-shirt day. A lot of times, sometimes it is two t-shirt, and I'll find my way through it and do it with just one. That wasn't happening today. It was a two t-shirt kind of day today. So I've already been home, showered, and so my third t-shirt for the day. And I didn't reach for it, but it was on the top, and it was very fitting that I grabbed this t-shirt. Today, I unfortunately heard about the passing of an old BMX friend. We raced together back in the 80s, and I think probably in the early 90s as well. So the fact that this T-shirt was sitting on top and some Rush music that I was listening to, and some lyrics that seemed very, very fitting. Sad to hear about the passing of one Jason Hamill out of Rhode Island. So if you follow me through road and used to do BMX, you know Jason Hamill's story. So NBL T-shirt, Jason. I hope you are riding up in peace now. So. Yes, t-shirt. So the other thing that I thought of too, and when I noticed that there was this weird glare here yesterday, I never really kind of looked at the background. This is like a corner of my apartment where I just kind of I can sit up shop. But I do a lot of recording here. I should probably make it look a little more, I don't know, festive or inviting for the YouTube or whatever. I've got above my head, I've got some growlers and stuff. I did my thing for the Portsmouth Brewery up there. And up over here, I've got a bunch of cans and bottles that I've collected along the way. A bunch of them from the Mid South, actually. Whenever I do the Mid South gravel race, there's those. But back here, I should probably cover that with something. So when I was at work, I was like, you know what? Let me get some grain bags or something, just to kind of put back in that area. So I want to show you what I got. So yeah, this is a Great Western malting. It's just a grain bag. I could probably take these and make like a banner or something out of it. These bags are kind of cool because they actually tell you about the malt. So if you're interested in beer itself, yeah, there's malt diagrams of the flavors that you're going to get out of this malt. However, on the other side is this monk guy from. This is Great Western Malting. This is their brew malt. Um, and it's this monk, this brewing monk, and I, I don't know. He's creepy AF. Okay, he's look at him. Look at him. I don't know. I find him a little strange, but I'm still gonna hang this up. Hopefully, he doesn't like come to life and then beat me up with his ceramic beer mugs. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Saint Gambrinus or just a monk with beer, but I mean, that face. It reminds me of Lady Elaine Fairchild from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, if you remember that. So, anyway, so a little bit of entertainment going in, and yeah, normally I don't edit, but the purposes of getting up and sitting down and talking about this, let's talk about beer in the Tour de France, shall we? Today, stage 16. I'm tired. It's I'm a little crazy today, but that's fine. You know what? Hey, you're here for a little bit of entertainment, right? To find out about the race, to find out about the beer, and to be entertained. So, uh, let's crack a beer. So this beer is the Aslin Beer Company. It's called Stating the Obvious, which is a Vienna style lager. Took a look at their website. Looks like they were founded in 2015. It looks like they have 5 locations, so obviously doing really well. Based out of Alexandria, Virginia. I'm guessing from what I could read that Alexandria is probably their main hub. That's where they're going to do a lot of their production, their canning, and everything else, and maybe everything else goes to the other locations. Uh, by their bio, it said that we like to experiment and we like to do lots of different beers. But I saw a lot of IPAs, an IPA and double IPA and fruited IPA, another IPA, and then sour, 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 sour. There were some lagers. There was a dark beer and a lager. I'm just guessing if you're going to go to their location, you should like IPAs and sours. I didn't see a lot of the other variety by looking at their menu. I looked at one of the other locations. There were some other things. There was a dark beer, something fruited, an Italian Pilsner. So there is some that's in there, but I didn't see any, your more traditional brown ale, pale ale, whatever. So But that's like a lot of places. A lot of places have a bunch of different IPAs because, well, the IPAs are the popular thing. And sometimes you might have Simcoe with whatever. And then the other time you might have Citra with whatever. I'm glad that I have a lager from this brewery. So let's check it out, shall we? So Vienna lager, history on a Vienna lager. They're very, very similar to an Oktoberfest, like a fest beer. They should be in that golden type color, but not as much body as an Oktoberfest, like a not fest beer. So Oktoberfest are now starting to evolve into fest beer and Oktoberfest. And your fest beer are the lighter. It's almost like a big Helles. And your Oktoberfest, your Märzen, is your copper, big mouthfeel, lots of malty flavors. So that's your traditional type Oktoberfest as well. Your Vienna Lager is going to be like a lighter Martin, lighter Oktoberfest style. So, and that's what I'm looking at color wise here. So we've got like a dark copper, orangey kind of color going on here. So it's not like a big Helles. Slight white tan head going on. I've got aromas of sweet malt. I just get sweet malt. I don't have a lot of hops, as Vienna Lager really shouldn't have a lot of that as well. All right, there's some hop in the taste, but not hoppy, if you know what I mean. It's not like it's bursting with hops. The hops are there to balance, as it should be. This should be a malt forward beer. And the hops are there to kind of balance it out so that you can taste the malts, the graininess, sometimes grain, cracker, bread crust would be flavors that would come along. Hey, you, don't you move there, brew malt guy. Coming to get me. It's got some sweetness that sticks. It's not too bad. If it was any more than this, I would call that cloying, and cloying can be distracting. It's not as refreshing. Uh, but I could see this going, and it's like a light Oktoberfest. So food pairing with this would be Oktoberfest style foods. Maybe some pork schnitzel banged out with breaded and fried, so it's got some crispiness to it. Maybe some cabbage on the side as well. A little orangey flavor going on in here, marmalade even. It's not bad. It's not bad. It doesn't finish as clean as I would expect for lagers. So if they had a lager, so it would finish clean, it should be like gone, and then you go to that next sip. It's got a little bit of lingering sweetness or fruitiness, which isn't bad. It's not a flaw. But yeah, I'm just kind of pointing that out. Today's stage, yeah. Normally I go beer stage, beer stage. I'm just trying to singularly focus, whichever. So let's talk about today's stage. 16, one for the mountains. Or is it going to be for the breakaway? Or is it going to be for the GC? That's how this race has been all year. All year, all season, all race, it has been that type of thing where you just don't know who it's going to belong to. And there was battles going on. It was fun to watch. It was a fun race to watch today. I'm going to kind of jump towards the end. I'm looking at my notes real quick as to what was going on because I watched it this morning, then went to work, and then kind of looking back at it. I mean, I remember what happened, but there were just certain things that I wanted to make sure I pointed out. One thing I want to point out is Remco Evenepoel. Man, that dude's a rider. He's good. He's really good. And he is looking to make a name for himself because he's working his way into the GC. He took time back on Tadej Pogacar today, as well as on Jonas Vingegaard. And if he keeps this up, he might be able to move in a second. So Jonas is looking vulnerable. I mean, I don't want to say expected. He did have that huge crash. However, I thought he looked strong. Now, as the weeks go on, 3 weeks into the tour, things might you start to diminish or whatever. And we saw as of last weekend that Tade has his number. So I feel like when Tade laid an attack on Jonas and Jonas was like not responding, it's like, all right, is it a punk move? No, because there's two things going on here. The tour is not over until the tour is over. And this year, you got to be go all the way into Sunday, not just for Saturday. The other thing is he's got to deal with Remco. And I feel like this wasn't so much to put more space in between himself and Jonas. He wants to put more space in between him and Remco because Remco is a time trial specialist. And the final day is a time trial. If he doesn't have enough gap on Remco, Remco could challenge him. There's enough time right now that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But what happens if he has a bad day in the mountains? They're in the Alps now for a few days. So Tade being Tade. However, Tade did not win today, and I really wish I had my EF education hat. I don't know where it is. That upsets me because it was finally a win for EF. Yes. Richard Carapaz takes the win. I believe that is his first ever Tour de France stage win and the first for the country of Ecuador. So I think that's just awesome. Been cheering for this guy and cheering for EF all race long, and it was a great battle. Towards the end, I'd say it was about 15 kilometers left. Adam Yates makes a move. So there were some breakaways and they kind of fell apart and then going away. But Carapaz made sure he always made his move to jump the gap. And EF had trouble getting into the break and making those jumps that they needed to be able to do. And at one point, they were just like, it's now or never, boys. And you just saw like 4 pink jerseys taken off. And it was awesome. I'm like, ooh, what do we got going on here? And they got up front. Carapaz is up front. Adam Yates, another fun rider to watch. The Yates brothers are always fun. So Adam Yates makes a great move. As this warms a little bit, I'm getting a little hay in there, straw grain. So anyway, Yates makes a great move. He jumps and catches Carapaz and actually gets ahead of him. I'm like, man, look at Adam Yates now. What's going to happen here? Uh, but as they're going, Carapaz is like, I need this as my opportunity. So he gets there. And I feel like Carapaz felt like he needed to be in front because he's the better descender. So getting in front means he can use his skills to try and pull away. It was a great battle here. I'm looking again at notes. Yeah, it was pretty much them, those two back and forth. And then Carapaz just turned it on, and it was his. It was his win. I believe Adam Yates finished second, maybe 30 seconds behind, and a really good ride by third place. I think that was Enrique Mas. I did not write that down. I'm not sure. I'm going off memory. So an entertaining stage to watch today. And yeah, as far as the yellow jersey battle, I feel like Tade is being aggressive, and everybody says you shouldn't be that aggressive, but you know what? You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Uh, we saw that yesterday with the green jersey battle. So you have to be able to take care of business. Put a little bit more space on Jonas. Try to make sure you don't get that much space on Remco, and Remco actually reversed that. Remco grabbed time on Tade today. Is he going to catch Tade? Probably not. Can he catch Jonas Vingegaard? Very, very possible if it continues the way it is. So I think that's all I wrote down. That's about it. I am going to finish this beer. Again, Aslin Beer Co. Stating the obvious, Vienna style lager. I didn't see this on their website, so I don't know anything about it other than like going to Beer Advocate and it says it's triple decocted with noble hops. And I don't know if that's Beer Advocate writing that or if it's Aslin writing that, so I'm not really sure. I will say it's a tasty beer. I will enjoy this. So until tomorrow, when we go to stage 17, another day in the Alps, and we're just gonna find out what happens. It's been fun watching, and I really appreciate everybody just finding my strange perspective on it. It's more about usually the beer review, and then I ramble on a little bit about bike racing, but I try to throw in a little bit of both. Uh, so yeah, and if you really like it, tell your friends, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the time that I drop anything like this. And then you'll find stuff in the notes about the podcast that I do every other week, where it's more my own biking adventures and the beers that go along with them. Anyway, time for me to go. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers.